What is up, guys? It is Simba here, and welcome back to another league racing video on the channel. And the title of this one might be a little bit of a giveaway, but you'll see throughout this video on how that goes. But for now, welcome to round number 9 of WR for the Japanese Grand Prix. And a lot has happened in WR since the last time I made a video. First of all, get subscribed for more league racing action. We have passed 200 subscribers. I'm looking to get to 300 maybe 250 by the end of the year. But right now, after 8 races, we are 28 points behind in the Drivers' Championship, down in 5th place. Abu Dhabi, we finished 4th. Kota was an awful sprint weekend on a track I hate. And I missed France as well when we were 2nd in the championship going into that race. So we lost a couple of points there by just not attending that race. So we've lost quite a bit of momentum in the mid-season period, and if you guys remember, WR only had 11 races on the calendar this season. So being 28 points behind with 3 races to go is going to be quite a task to close that gap down going into the final 3 races. So this is where we have to make a late push for the championship if we want to try and win it. So far, in qualifying, this lap has not been great. As we come through to cross the line, it is a 26.9, which puts us in P4 for the time being, but our championship rival and our teammate has done a 26.6. That was not great. And you can hear me say, simply, that's not great. Pace seemed pretty decent in qualifying. We seem to be putting in some pretty good laps, but right now, we're just struggling to get the lap together thanks to a few little errors. Japan is an old school circuit and it will punish you for mistakes like right there. We just dip a wheel going into the hairpin and that lap is ruined. I've never done that before. Nice timing. So you can hear the frustration kicking in, and look at this traffic paradise going into our final run of the session. Jesus Christ. Oh my god. So, quite a bit of shenanigans going on behind us. That bus right in front of us went off the track to pass us, and he started his last lap right in front of us. Bit of a mess. A bit of traffic and a bit of parking going on as everyone is trying to start their last lap. But for us, we need a good lap. We're currently down in P8, so let's see what we can do. Jensen Button has once said that this track punishes you for mistakes, and right now, that's what we're dealing with. We're dealing with the consequences of making a small error around this track. But so far, we are absolutely nailing the S section, flicking it to the left and right, and up the Dunlop curve. Nicely done, close to the curb, and there you go. We are nearly 2 tenths up in the first sector. It's a 31.1 in the first sector as well, so that's pretty solid. Degner 2 isn't great though. We take a bit too much inside curb, and that compromises the run through that corner and going down in towards the hairpin. Nicely done. Try and get on the throttle as early as you can, but we do it just a little bit too early. And we lose ground on the exit. And at this point, the frustration is starting to kick in at the moment because we know we can do a lot better. And we've still got time to game in this middle sector. But going through Spoon, we dip a wheel into the grass. And that costs us for the second part as we spin out. And we're in the gravel. The Haas follows us through. But we're sat in the gravel and knowing that this is a costly error in the context of the championship and where we need to be compared to our rivals, and that is us in P9. Absolutely shocking. Very poor qualifying for our standards, considering that's been one of our strong points on F1 23. But when we needed to deliver a lap that would have easily got us into the top 5, judging from our PBs, we've completely choked it when it matters, and we're going to be starting quite a way down. And once again in WR, we've got to try and fight from underneath and fight back in the race. Pace has been pretty good in the race, and we've got to show it here today. And we need big points here for the Japanese Grand Prix. And we are underway in Suzuka, and it's a pretty decent getaway on the hard tyres. VRT Mustache is paused for some reason. As we go into turns 1 and 2, there's contact up ahead with an Alpine. Someone's at the back of us, and we get sandwiched together. Oh, come on. What? How's that even possible? Fucking hell.
Okay, slow down, slow down. Your delta's negative, which means you're going too fast. Reduce your pace.
Oh my god. And that is the worst possible start to the race we could have had. We made a decent getaway. We were going to be like P8 anyway, but we just got caught in the chaos once again, and we've got damage. BRT ADF1 has a drive-through penalty to serve, as well as the Williams completely misses the second part of the chicane. But we're going to box for a set of medium tyres. And the problem is, there's only 14 people racing. Attendance was quite bad for this one. But honestly, it's a joke. Basically, what this means is, we're going to come out a long way away from the top 4 cars. Meaning that there's only so much we can get out of this race, and it's only lap 2. Medium tyres on the car. You can hear me just ranting away in frustration. And you can see here, we're going to come out in P9 out of 13 cars. And look where the top 4 are. They're coming out of Degner 2 towards the hairpin. So, to put it bluntly, we need a safety car in this race to get any chance of getting a top 5 finish here today in this race. So, it's not looking good. Going into the end of lap 2 now, you can see the Red Bull Slut Bus and the Alpha Tauri of ADF1 are going to box. Look at that. 20 seconds off the next car. Hang on.
Okay, there's been an incident on track resulting in loose debris. Fortunately, the marshals have managed to clear it up in time, and there are so far no plans for a safety car.
And as soon as I'm about to start ranting about the gap between me and the cars ahead, we have been gifted what we needed, a safety car on lap number 3 of this race. So now the race has been completely neutralised and we are basically back in it now. And crucially, we are going to be with the top 4 runners. And now we can start to think about strategy. Do we go for hards? Do we go for 2 sets of mediums? And maybe we can actually start trying to get some points.
Well, what happened? Let me know you're okay.
Never mind. My controller has died. And we're in the wall. And we'll go no further in this Japanese Grand Prix. That's it. That is race over. You're joking. Oh my days. My controller dies through Degner 2 and it puts me in a wall. Now, my reaction's on point, but I can tell you that the race was restarted, thankfully. But unfortunately, I couldn't stream the race. Twitch decided to stop working. So, I've managed to record this entire race on my Xbox for you guys to make sure that you didn't miss any of the action anyway. We're going to be starting on the hards. We're going to go from the hards to the mediums, and we've got quite a lot of fuel because Japan is quite bad on fuel. You can consume a lot. So that's why we've gone with a little bit extra, and we're up into P8. So let's try this again, shall we? 5 red lights, and we are underway for take number 2 of this Japanese Grand Prix. We get a better start than the Williams of Georgian on the soft tyres, but he goes right round the outside of us, making those soft tyres work, but we're making sure we don't get taken out or involved in a collision again, and thankfully we stay in one piece. We are side by side almost with the Alpha Tauri of Holmes, I think that's his name. Yeah, so basically we managed to hold him off. We're still P8 in this race right now, so a decent start, managed to maintain position, and we can go from there. So, decent stuff. We managed to get a full front wing on the car this time. But going into the end of the first lap, a car's gone off, and that is Georgian off the track again. And he might have had a collision. I don't know what's happened there. But we're up into P7 now in this race, as Edu M, who got pole position, is leading the way. But right now, we're just thinking about saving the battery, because Japan is an old school circuit. It's hard to overtake, and there's realistically only one overtaking opportunity. But as you can see, we're using a bit of the battery to get a bit closer to Mustache, and that might have just put him off because he goes wide through the first 2 corners, and we say thank you very much. I'll take that position, and we're up into P6 now. So it seems that mistakes are being made around us, and we're just there to pick up the pieces. And the same can be said a few laps later as Denso and Ada have made contact. Ada's at the wall. We get a wheel on the grass, but we get away with it. And that is another huge moment in this race as Ada's out of contention. And I'm pretty sure he sent that to the stewards as well. And we're up into P5 in this race. So, and we've still got full battery as well. So the pace is looking good on these hard tyres. And we are right behind our championship rival. I think it's the first time that we're properly sharing the same piece of tarmac all season, because normally we're quite far apart on the track, or there's cars in between us, but we're not going to help ourselves if we get a warning. That's our second warning for track limits, and we were the ones that knocked over the bollard on lap 2, so that's 2 warnings already in this Grand Prix. So we need to make sure that we keep it clean for the rest of the race. But going on to lap 10, we're still chilling in this train. But once again, there's going to be a mistake made around us as Denso has a huge moment out of Degler 2. And we might get a good run on him going into the hairpin. We move to the inside. He moves across and we almost repeat the same mistake in qualifying. Thankfully, we get away with it. I got flashbacks to Perez in 2012 when he tried a similar move on Lewis Hamilton. But now we're going to have to do some defending as Slapbus right behind us went for the inside line into the chicane, and thankfully we managed to hold him off. Track position is going to be key. On to lap 13 we go now, and we've managed to fend him off. And I made that Perez reference on Hamilton because Perez tried to go round the outside of the hairpin and ended up spinning off into the gravel, and that was his race over. So we've managed to get away with it there, and Denso doesn't look as rapid as he usually does. So it's going to be our best chance to basically overtake him on track. As we're, again, Slapbus putting pressure on us, going into the hairpin. We try and defend the inside line, but we just tap our teammate. We almost break the golden rule of Formula 1. Don't hit your teammate. But we get away with it. No damage on the car, and this is where I had a moment of clarity. We are going to box on lap 13 for medium tyres. In this game, on F1 23, races can be won and lost in the pits. And in the last few races, we've been on the wrong end of things. So why not try and be on the right end this time? We're going to follow Langman and I think that's Edu. Yes, it is. Edu into the pits. And we're going to put on a set of medium tyres. We're actually initiating the undercut this time. And I can tell you, it works wonders. We get ahead of Langman, who got held up in the pits. And by the time everyone has made their stops on lap 15, we are up into P3 and we are in a net P2 when we were basically 5th. So we've gained 3 places in the pit stop window, and that is massive for us in terms of this race. And now we can actually think about going for a race win. The pace has been unreal so far in this race, as Talentless in the Alpine, still on old hard tyres, has been overtaken by Edu, and we have to follow suit. A crucial move for 130R as we set our personal best in the middle sector, following the fastest first sector of anyone else on this circuit. So the pace is looking unreal, and this is going to be proven right now as we open DRS. We set the fastest lap of the race on lap 15, and by the time we get to the end of lap 16, I was a little bit reluctant to make this move, but we might as well go for it. We're feeling pretty good in our pace. We're feeling pretty confident. We've got a lot of DRS, and we're going to use the DRS to make the move on Edu. And there you go. For the first time in a long while, we lead a league race here on the channel, and we lead the Japanese Grand Prix on lap 17, and this is a huge moment for us. So that means that we can definitely hang on to this, but it's not going to be easy because DRS is so powerful on this game, and this is going to be proven by the end of lap 19. You can see the order has changed a little bit. There has been some incidents behind us, but right now we're leading the way. But Slapbus has invited himself to the party, and now he's going to overtake us going on to lap number 20. And at this point, we have to be patient, because the best position you want to be if you want to win a league race on this game, as said by Jarno Ottman, I've mentioned this in the SLR Spain video, it's P1 or P2, especially on a track like this when it's hard to overtake. But on to lap 21 now, and you can see Slapbus going very slowly going into the braking zone of the Casio Triangle, and that's because he actually told me after the race he was actually saving fuel. So I was very confused about this, and at this point I'm thinking, you know, if we have to do this for the rest of the race so we can get him on the last lap, I'm willing to do that. But now you can see Denzo has fought his way through, and he's in P3 right now, so it's going to be a three-way fight for the race win here. And that is because Edu and Mustache behind us are 3 seconds back, and they've also got 3-second time penalties. But crucially for us, we've got a lot of VRS to use in the final 5 laps of this race, so we have to make a move soon, and that's when we're going to cut to lap 24, because we're going to make a huge move which could decide the race. I couldn't record the whole thing, but here we go. Side by side with Slapbuzz, we get through, we cover Denzo on the inside, and we take the lead. Once again, we retake it from the Red Bull as Slapbuzz gets pushed off by Denzo. So Denzo causing a few incidents here today, and that might get flagged up by the stewards. But for now, it's a 1-2 for the Aston Martin team, and Slapbuzz actually have to use a lot of fuel to get back within the train, so to catch up with me and Denzo. So yeah, that's his race effectively ruined. He wasn't happy by afterwards, but right now we are the leading car. We could be ending a 10-month wait for a race win, but Denzo's right behind us. He's still putting us under huge pressure through 130R and going into the Casio Triangle. We managed to fend him off. He has a look around the outside, but we fend him off and we get a good run out of the final chicane. And the main thing is now to drain the battery down the straight. We even go defensive to make sure we try and get him out of the slipstream, but we've managed to do a very good job of it, and we stay in the lead with Slapbuzz re-entering the fray on this final lap of the Japanese Grand Prix. And we're going to go the whole way round on this last lap, because this is a moment that we have been waiting for a very long time. We would never get this close to a race win on F1 22. The pace was never there, the confidence was never there, but now we've improved a lot on F1 23, and WR has been quite unlucky this season. We've had our chances to win a race in Jeddah and in Spain, and it didn't come for various reasons. But we can't think too far ahead. We've still got half a lap to hang on, and we're still draining every last bit of the battery to make sure we have a safe margin to Denzo if he tries anything at the final chicane again, through the spoon curve where we made a mistake in qualifying. And again, it's back to draining the battery, as I think we're going to hang on and win our first race in 10 months. 10 months. SLR Season 9 in Brazil was the last time we won a race on the channel, and today that long wait for a race win finally ends. It's the Japanese Grand Prix.
Get in there. That's what I'm talking about.
We did it. We finally did it. And we didn't make it easy for ourselves. Qualifying has been put to rest, because this has to be my best race in a very long time. Very happy to finally give you guys a race win. There is our guy celebrating on the top step of the podium and finally lifting the winner's trophy. 10 months. That's how long we've waited for this. Nearly a year without a league racing win, because we've been in grids where drivers are so much quicker than us and we can only get so much out of the races. But today it all finally clicked. Like I said, qualifying wasn't great, but we made up for it in the best way possible, and I was very relieved. Absolutely relieved. And there it is, confirmation. P1 in the Japanese Grand Prix, and I couldn't be happier. The pace in the race, the setup was absolutely unreal, and it worked wonders in the race. And we made the right moves at the right moments and kept it clean to take a very unlikely victory. I didn't really think I was going to win the race from 8th on the grid, but we've managed to pull it off here today, and we might be back in the championship. But for now, I just want to say a big thank you guys for supporting the channel, even if on F1 22 things were never great towards the end of the game. and I hope you guys enjoyed it. If that doesn't earn a subscription, I don't know what will, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. We finally got the win here today, guys, and as always, I'll see you all in the next one.